just west of Chicago, in a community called Elmhurst. There's a place where you'll grow into a connected thinker and a passionate changemaker, with skills to excel and knowledge that lasts. Elmhurst University. Go far, do well.
The Cameron Tucker era is underway for the Elmhurst Blue Jays after a thrilling comeback win on Monday night. The Blue Jays look to improve to 2-0 this season as they host the Mount Mary Blue Angels. And with that, we welcome you to tonight's broadcast. My name is Cal Friedman, joined alongside Dawson Wells to my left. Dawson, the story of Monday night was all about Kristen Bakata. 27 points for the sophomore. What'd you like from her game?
Yeah, she hustles up and down the floor, like you said, 27 points, but also 8 rebounds as well, hustling, especially on the offensive side for those boards. She'll carry this team here tonight again.
This is a Blue Jays team that brings in a couple different high-impact transfers. We'll get a chance to see one of them in the starting lineup tonight. Sierra Seamer makes her first start as a Blue Jay. She averaged a double-double in California. Now she'll get an opportunity to impress here in Illinois.
Yeah, her first start for this Elmhurst side. She's going to be the tallest one on the floor here tonight at 6'1", a couple inches over Mount Mary's tallest player. So she'll dominate inside the paint and on the boards.
When I talked with Cameron Tucker earlier this week, he said there were a bit of jitters with some of those newer players when you talked about Steamer, when you talked about Gibson. How do you want to see them calm their nerves down, really enjoy their second game here at Elmhurst?
I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. You know, early in the season, only our second game. So each player is going to find that chemistry, especially new to the program. Steamer, Gibson, just find the chemistry with players. They'll find it here tonight as well.
For Cameron Tucker, it was his first win as a head coach on home soil. He spent some time coaching in the UK, over in Edinburgh in Scotland. Spent some time as a D1 assistant coach at Milwaukee and Wyoming, and is now finally the head coach of a program that he feels he's in a place to do things for the future. So it'll be Steamer against Hatcher for the opening tip. Steamer wins it, and the Blue Jays in their alternate gray uniforms open up this game with the ball. Here is Bakana, 27 points, 8 rebounds on Monday night. Novak, back to Bakana. Steamer immediately with an inside touch. Now MC Brown, off the window and in for 2.
Yeah, you can already see that height that Steamer has against Hatcher. It's a big height difference, almost 5 inches.
That's the way you want to get your center, making her first start involved. Give her a paint touch immediately and help her set up the opening basket of the game. Vanessa Diaz swatted from behind. That's Bakata with great defense as well as her offensive game. Lindsay Novak, returning senior, 6th on the team in scoring last year. Bakata gets a right side screen from Brown. Steamer into the corner. Good ball movement from the Blue Jays. Everyone getting a touch on this possession, and Brown finishes it off from a setup from Cusack.
Yeah, it looked like Cusack actually lost that ball, and it just found Brown down at the baseline. Good finish from her.
2 buckets for Brown. She had just 2 field goals on Monday night, so she's already matched that here in the opening quarter. Vanessa Diaz swings it to the left side. Hatcher's shot blocked. Steamer makes the bench go crazy. Blue Angels keep the possession. 3rd game of the season for Mount Mary. They're 2-0. Not off to a good start in game 3. Forwards for Bakata. Steamer inside. 6-0.
I'm glad Steamer got the start tonight. We saw her in some limited minutes in the opener on Monday, already making a huge impact on both sides with the block and then finishing it up with the layup there.
It was a rocky opening for this Elmhurst team. They faced a couple of 9-point deficits, including in the third quarter. Wound up winning that game 68-64 against Rockford. Sinai Ballard led the team in scoring last time out with 15. Swings it to the left. Lucas drives in. Layup won't sit. Steamer's there for the board. Bakata brings up the floor. Novak for the triple. Too strong.
Yeah, and that was a weakness on Monday night for this Elmhurst team. Only shot about 26% from behind the arch. You need to do a better job there. Already missing one here tonight.
7 for 26 on Monday for a team that is still looking to improve off of last season. They were dead last in the CCIW in three-point percentage. Blue Angels still looking for their first points of the night. Lucas, returner from last year's team, led the Blue Angels with 21 starts. Nickel down the lane. Kicks it out. Good pump fake by Diaz. Back to Nickel. Bakata with the interception inside. Took that one away from Hatcher. Full court pass ahead by Cusack. Hits Brown. She can't make the layup. Her second chance blocked from behind by Diaz, but it will remain with the Blue Jays.
It's been stifling defense. Good outlet pass to Brown. Just can't finish the layup after a hot start from her.
How about the pass up court by Cusack? You were saying that was like a football pass there.
A great pass to find her. She had a pretty good opportunity there at the other end of the floor. But this defense from Elmhurst so far to start off the night haven't allowed a point so far. Mount Mary 0 for 3 so far as well.
Cusack fakes the three. Gets it to the free throw line. Someone who's got such a good engine on both sides of the floor. You've already seen her with an assist and a couple of really nice defensive possessions to open the game. Bakata to the free throw line. Off balance jumper won't fall. Good rebound for Hatcher. Blue Angels team that's coming off a 12-11 regular season last year. It was the first ever winning season in Mount Mary's brief history, 14 seasons. Diaz goes behind her back. Good help defense from Bakata. Just stifling so far from Elmhurst in this 2-3 set. Ballard with 8 to shoot. Tries to pass it low. Steamer intercepts. She's got a run out. What a start for Steamer. 8-0.
Yeah, especially on both sides of the floor. Already a block and a steal for her tonight, as well as the 4 points. She's just been a great start to the night in her first career start for Elmhurst.
Transfer from Antelope Valley in California. Mount Mary trying to find something going against this defense, which you mentioned to me. They flipped a little bit in game one, Mount Mary. There's the first foul of the night. It'll go on Cusack.
Yeah, and this is the matchup we're watching. Ballard going against Bakata. A lot of pressure by Bakata. Kind of forces an errant pass to Steamer and coast to coast after collecting that steal.
Couple substitutions for the Blue Angels. Nzia Bobo comes on for her first appearance of the season. She's wearing number 2. And Daisha Rivers, reigning freshman of the year in the Coast to Coast Conference. Can't get it to go on her first look. Good rebound from Steamer again. Blue Jays flying forward. Great pass to Brown. Long 2 in and out. Brown with the first 2 buckets of this game. Quiet since. It's Brown and Steamer who've impressed so far for Elmhurst with this 8-0 lead. Lucas into the key. Daisha Rivers. One of 2 consecutive players to win the Coast to Coast Freshman of the Year honors for this Mount Mary team. Great interception by Elmhurst inside. That's Brown using her hands. Hand off to Bakata. That is just beautiful basketball in transition. Elmhurst looks so comfortable getting out of their defensive rebound and pushing it into offense.
Yeah, they've done it a lot so far tonight with a lot of steals. Still have yet to allow a point against this Mount Mary side.
Coming up on the under 5 media timeout. Euro step move by Lucas. Great contest by Cusack. And she's got the board. Forward for Lindsay Novak. Beautiful teardrop up with the right hands. 12-0 Blue Jays. It's a phenomenal start, Dawson.
Yeah, they started off slow on Monday. against Rockford, and they have completely opposite, flipped the script here tonight, already 10-0 in this first quarter.
Ballard, one of 2 Blue Angels to appear in all 24 games last season, and she's got the Mount Mary scoring started. First 3 of the nights, and the Blue Angels are on the board. All the way up courts, but cut off for 2. Another great pass up court by Cusack, and the Blue Angels kill time.
Yeah, you said a great pass from Cusack, and that's the person you don't want to leave open, especially right down in the plane. Bukata, and Elmhurst off to a flying start tonight.
An 11-point lead for the Blue Jays early, but what's really impressing me is how good their transition is from defense to offense. They're just beating Mount Mary down the court right now.
Yeah, and they're kind of used to that from the previous hierarchy here. Last head coach really wanted to just push the pace and get as many shots up as possible. Cameron Tucker coming in, wants to slow it down a little bit, but this transition game is just on fire here tonight.
You know, it's always difficult when you're in a head coaching position for your first year. He told me earlier this week he's here at Elmhurst for all the right reasons. He wants to be able to lead this program forward in the years to come. But right now, this is a roster that, for the most part, he's inherited. It's not his team, so he's having to go through a lot of different changes. But right now, like you said, less patience, more urgency on offense, and it's working so far.
Yeah, we've really seen it so far, and he's using one of his transfers, Steamer, who's just having a great night and a great first quarter for her. 4 points, 2 rebounds, a block, and a steal already. She's been a great addition in her first career Elmhurst start.
She averaged roughly 18 points, 12 rebounds as a sophomore for Antelope Valley last year. She actually had one game where she had a double-double by the end of the first quarter against West Los Angeles. So far off to a strong start. She'll take a sit as the Blue Jays lead by 11. Whole new lineup out there for Elmhurst right now. Here's Naziah Bobo. Averaged roughly 10 points per game last season. Didn't play in either of the team's first 2 games. She's off on her first shot, and a good rebound on the far side by the Blue Jays. Again, pushing forward in transition. Gibson for 2.
Yeah, another one of those transfers from College U DuPage, right around the area here, just 20 minutes away.
Blocking foul against Gibson. That'll be the second foul against Elmhurst here in this first.
Yeah, Community College COD. Great program there for women's basketball. A good opportunity coming in to transfer there for Gibson. We saw her in the first game put up a couple of points.
Off-ball foul against Elmhurst. Sonzalapi.
Yeah, we saw her get a lot of fouls in that first game. She only played a couple minutes, and I believe 4 fouls from her, so she's got to clean up her game on that side. Already won early tonight here.
Someone who really just felt the nerves on Monday making her debut for Elmhurst. She had 6 points but 7 turnovers off the bench. Did lead the reserves in both those categories. Tough finish by Rivers off the right hand for 2. Into the corner for an open triple. Too short that time from Diaby. Now we'll see Mount Mary try and push things in transition. Lucas gets through one, took too many steps. That Elmhurst bench starting to feel it here early often.
Yeah, and that was good pressure by Hardy to really force that extra step in that travel on that far side after the pass over the head.
So it's a completely different lineup. Ely, Ravizzi, Gibson, Hardy, and Delapi all off the bench here for the Blue Jays with a double-digit lead in the first. Ely to the paint. Got it. But it'll go the other way. She put it in off the right hand, but really good interior position to draw the charge that time. That's Hatcher.
Yeah, great positioning to get the feet set just outside of that restricted area. Just got it right in time as Ely was making that drive.
If it had counted, Elmhurst would have hit 5 of their last 6 from the floor. Instead, Mount Mary with an opportunity to bring it back down to single digits. Lucas, dribble drive into the key, off the window for 2. Nice finish by India Lucas. And the senior has it to a 9-point game. Corner 3 for Gibson. That's money.
Yeah, she's starting to heat up. I expect her to play a couple more minutes and quality minutes here tonight, especially if the Elmhurst have a big lead.
Full court press drops off. Brought up by Bobo. One of 2 coast-to-coast player of the week honors. Held in the backcourt. A foul on the floor against the Blue Jays. It will go on Ely to transfer from Mount San Antonio College. It's the fourth foul this first quarter against the Blue Jays. There's the look of the three from Gibson.
Absolute money from that corner three from Gibson. Already 2 for 2 from the field. She's having a good start. We're seeing a couple of transfers have great starts here tonight.
So referees talking this one over. They're going to put it at the line instead. Be the first free throws for either team here tonight. Sierra Gibson led College of DuPage last year in points per game, assists per game, steals per game, and the most minutes for DuPage last year. Averaged roughly 16 points per game and a quick start for her off the bench, showing exactly why Elmhurst brought her in. First free throw good for Mount Mary. That's Ballard at the line. Sophomore guard from Highland, Indiana. 31 points for her so far coming into tonight. Make it 33. She's good on both.
Yeah, and if Mount Mary really want to come back and compete here in this game, they need her to get going. Ballard leads this Mount Mary side in points.
Gibson to Hardy. Again, everybody getting a touch on this possession here for the Blue Jays. Exactly how you want a young team learn how to play with each other. That's a brilliant jump shot from Delappy. It's coming from everywhere from this Elmhurst team, and they lead 21-9.
Yeah, and they can't seem to miss right now. 66.7% from the field. Great shooting night from Elmhurst so far.
Lucas has her pocket picked. Delappy right in the middle of everything. Blue Jays out in transition. Beautiful feed to Gibson. What a first quarter she's having. What a first quarter this Elmhurst team is having.
Yeah, everything's working, especially the transition. Elmhurst have just looked fantastic, making the right pass at the right time to find an open shooter right under the basket.
7 already for Sierra Gibson off the bench. Bobo too much on it. Good rebound high for Delappy. Again, a fast break. Brown leaves it to the top for Hardy. She settles into a 2. That one's too strong. Good offensive rebound from Delappy. Straight out to Hardy. Delappy from the free throw line. Won't sit. Gotta love the hustle from this Elmhurst team, even with this 14-point lead.
Yeah, that's something Elmhurst does really well. Every single one of these players has bought in to Coach Tucker's system, and you can really see it. Every single player hustling on both ends of the floor, especially on the defensive end. We've seen a lot of turnovers and pressure on passes so far tonight, causing 6 turnovers already for Mount Mary.
Someone who told me earlier this week that he's here at D3 for all the right reasons. 3 from Rivers, bottoms. Deja Rivers with her second bucket off the bench. Blue Angels have 2 3-pointers so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, and Deja Rivers, good bench player. 16.5 minutes per game for this Mount Mary side so far, but 10 points in those quality short minutes off the bench.
Delappy another offensive rebounds. Straight into the middle goes Rivesi. And a foul against the Elmhurst guard.
A good cut into the paint. Just fell into a triple team of Mount Mary. It was good help defense from them.
Freshman from Birmingham. Had a rebound and assist back on Monday in that 4-point win over Rockford. Getting some more run time here with this 11-point lead at the end of the first quarter. It's important to see this Elmhurst team, see what they've got. Coach Tucker knows that his team isn't going to be playing its best basketball until you get into CCIW play. So why not fidget? See what you've got here with your bench unit. Lucas to Diaz. Struggles with the dribble. Gains it back. Diaz bounce pass inside. Too far ahead for Nickel.
This Elmhurst defense already causing their Mount Mary's 7th turnover of the game. They're just swarming and suffocating this Mount Mary offense here tonight so far in the first quarter.
1 second difference between shot and game clock. Anytime you're up 5 in a turnover battle in a quarter, you expect to be leading, and that's exactly what this Blue Jays team has done. They bring the double on Rivesi. She'll get it back. Blue Jays content to hold for the last shot of this stellar first quarter so far. Freshman will get an elevator screen. Use the right one for Brown. Into the key. Swings it out for Gibson. Way too much on that triple. Elmhurst with a very strong first quarter. They shoot 11 for 20, and they jump out to an 11-point lead after 1. Blue Jays 23, Blue Angels 12. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter.
My name is Danielle Corliss, and I am in Elmhurst University's online MENP program. I believe that nursing is a calling. If you have an interest in healthcare, this is a very diverse field to go into, and you have a lot of options on what areas you want to work. I'm really excited to be a clinical nurse leader because there is a strong possibility to improve patient outcomes and improving the conditions that nurses and other medical professionals work in. I really hope to impact the lower income or underserved communities. Coming from Kentucky, where I was an EMT, and then even in my clinicals here in the Chicagoland area, there are a lot of underserved communities and they don't have access to the proper health resources. And I feel like focusing on those lower income, underserved communities can really help the healthcare system in general, but can also improve the overall health in these populations. My favorite part of this program has definitely been the clinicals.
So far, so good for this Blue Jays unit. They lead by 11 after the end of one. Cal Freeman joined alongside Dawson Wells. You were mentioning the two impact transfers, Sierra Steamer, Gibson, 11 points of their first 23. What'd you like from those two?
Yeah, and they've only missed one shot as well between the both of them. They've just hustled and shown that they can compete here at this D3 level, especially Sierra Gibson transferring from that junior college of COD. Just right around the area, but impressive start to the night for both of them.
Really good start, 3 of 3 off the bench for Gibson in that first quarter. Nice entry pass for Ballard. Can't control the dribble, leaves it for Hatcher, but she travels. That's the 8th turnover already against the Blue Angels in this first half.
Yeah, and credit that Elmhurst defense just suffocating, making it difficult, just stepping in front of passing lanes and cutting lanes. Mount Mary hasn't found much tonight.
Novak, that's a triple. Second 3 of the game from the Blue Jays. They lead by 14. When I talked to Cameron Tucker earlier this week, he said one of his 3 priorities was defense. You're seeing it on example. Cusack for 2.
Great hustle from Cusack. Reading that pass, getting the steal, and transitioning right to offense, getting the wide open layup.
Rivers all the way down the right baseline. She's farmed on the way up. She'll head to the line. Coach Tucker told me the 3 foundations for this team are going to be defense, rebounding, taking care of the basketball. Easier said than done, but that first quarter was a masterpiece in defense and limiting their turnovers.
Yeah, only 2 turnovers in that first quarter for Elmhurst, and they caused 7 on the other end for Mount Mary. Great defense from them, suffocating every one of these Elmhurst players, hustling on that side of the ball.
Rivers for her second free throw after knocking down the first. Good start from her tonight. She's up to 7 to lead the Blue Angels. They cut the deficit to 14. Cusack with speed up the court. Leaves it for Lewers, freshman from Tampa. Turnaround jumper is no good from Steamer. Taken back underneath. Layup no good. Won't sit. Another offensive rebound for Ely. And a tie-up. Keep it with the Blue Jays. More good hustle from this Elmhurst unit.
Yeah, and you see it on both ends of the floor, especially getting on that offensive glass. We've already seen 3 offensive rebounds so far tonight for the Blue Jays.
Wide open Novak. Too short off the front of the rim. Again found by Cusack, who wins it back on the floor. Tries to drive baseline. Out to Steamer. Beautiful teardrop with the right hand, but that one won't fall. And finally, Mount Mary ends that long Elmhurst possession.
Yeah, that's something Steamer struggled just a little bit with in the first game, only shooting 20% on Monday. Needs to clean it up. A great steal from her right there.
Takes it away from Rivers. Novak up the floor. Leaves it for Cusack. No good. Offensive rebound from Lewers on the near side. Darting pass inside by Novak. Regained by Ely. Pulls into a 2. Again, won't fall. Tough start in this second quarter for Elmhurst. And Josh Steffen is going to take his second timeout of the night.
Yeah, very tough start to this second quarter. Oh, for their last 6, Elmhurst are just struggling a little bit after that hot start in the first quarter where we saw them get off to a 12-0 run.
Well, you talked about the defense in the transition that Elmhurst was able to pull off a lot in the first quarter. It's not quite working here in the second. How do you want to see this Blue Jays team slow down the possessions?
Yeah, I mean, they're finding great shots, wide open shots. They just haven't been able to fall really, I don't think they need to change up much. These shots are going to fall. They're wide open. Mount Mary's giving them a lot of space, especially in transition and off offensive rebounds as well. They just need to keep going, and these shots will fall like they did in the first quarter.
We just saw Lindsay Novak knock down a 3 as well. That's still going to be an improvement for this Blue Jays team, but do you like the looks they're getting from beyond the arc?
Yeah, most of them are wide open, and they've already improved just a little bit here tonight. 2 for 7, maybe take a little bit more inside, but they're taking wide open shots, finding a lot of space, like I said, on both sides of the floor, and their defense is giving them a lot of transition where they can find these wide open shots.
They forced 11 turnovers so far in this opening half. They've been fruitful off them, 13 points off those 11 Mount Mary turnovers. You take those turnovers away, and this is a different ball game. Gotta like the Blue Jays being opportunistic in this game so far.
Yeah, and 8 of those are steals for Elmhurst. Steamer with 3 of her own in that category. She's been a force on the defensive side.
Rowan Cusack, the transfer from Linfield a year ago in her second season, takes it away at the top. Novak feeds Ely. She's stripped away, but will keep the basketball. Cameron Sucker told me that Cusack, she's feisty, a fantastic leader. Said she's not a mama bear. She doesn't really have a filter. She's going to get into her teammates once she wants them to do better. Novak for a triple. Kaboom. Novak from Cusack. It's the largest lead of the game for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and when Mount Mary's going to give you that much space on that three-point line, you're going to take it. Elmhurst burying their third 3 of the night.
3 for 8 from downtown. Much improved for the Blue Jays, who were 7 of 26 on Monday. That'll bring Bakata back into the game. It's always good when you can give her a rest after how good she was on Monday. They haven't really had to use her much so far, but she's got 4 points in her first 6 minutes. Here's Bobo. Flings it off to the right side for Diaz. Leading scorer in game 1, had 18 points in that win over Blackburn. Lucas steps through 2. Too strong on the teardrop. Rebound for Novak. Bakata brings the Blue Jays forward. Leaves it for Novak. Fakes the 3. Puts it up. Won't sit down. And the rebound collapsed by Bobo. Was a coast-to-coast player of the week last season. Scored 23 points in a win over Andrews, where she hit 5 3-pointers. Diaz trying to find her touch here today. Tries to dribble through 2. Leaves it for Hatcher. Brilliant pass from Diaz.
Yeah, and that's Mount Mary's first assist of the evening, if you can believe it. Elmhurst have really made it difficult on the offensive side for them.
Pass to Steamer. Trying to work her way through 2. No good on the right-handed layup. Still loose on the floor. Novak lets it roll out of play. Good effort by Steamer, even when she didn't grab the rebounds. And
Steamer just having a little bit of difficulties finishing these layups. 2 from 5 now from the field. Elmhurst as a whole, 1 for their last 9. So they need to clean up their shots just a little bit.
She only had 1 bucket on Monday, but it was a big one. It was a go-ahead and 1 in the third corner. Referees talking it over. Kevin St. John, LaRonda Courier, and Felix Wynn are your referees tonight. Cross-court pass gets to Lewis. Freshman robbed by Diaz. Mount Mary starting to grow into this game in the second quarter, but they still trail by 15. Lucas fakes the 3. Swings it back out for Diaz. Wants it on that left hand. Into the corner for a triple. No, it goes in from Ballard. It looked too strong. It bounced back in for Sinai. 31-19 Elmhurst. Bakata, beautiful spin to the right. She'll head to the line.
Great spin here by Bakata on the open space and drawing that foul from Ballard.
Somebody that Cameron Sucker told me earlier this week he recruited while he was still at DePaul. First free throw for Bakata is down. He said she's just a gamer. She has ridiculous motor and an athlete, but she's also a coach's dream. Very humble student athlete.
And only a sophomore as well. A lot of hope and promise coming out of her here tonight. And in the first 2 games of the season so far, she was great last year as a freshman. One of the best players for this Elmhurst side.
Averaged 10 points, roughly 4.5 rebounds in her first year, and scored 27 on opening night to lead the Blue Jays past Rockford. Lucas finds Bobo. Bobo gets it onto her left. Swatted away by Steamer. More good defense from the Blue Jay center. Lures to Bacata. Down low for Steamer. Wide open Ely. Fakes the three. Pulls into a two. Too much on it. Diaz the board.
Great ball movement by Elmhurst there. Just couldn't finish it off with a shot. Ely got a good shot attempt there. Pretty good shot selection so far tonight for this Elmhurst side.
You look at their numbers and you see 44% give or take from the floor, but the looks have been high quality chances. This team's still growing into this 2024 season.
Yeah, it's early. I mean, but this is great shot selection. Like I said, later in the season, you hope these shots fall, but just still a little early season rust from both sides, especially from Elmhurst.
Second of a 3-game homestand to open up this season here for the Blue Jays. They'll take on Milwaukee School of Engineering on the 16th. It'll be a big-time matchup in Cameron Tucker's first week at the helm. Lucas trying to find Bobo. Great off-ball defense by Ely. Rivers slips underneath. Reverse layup won't fall. Good rebound for Ely. Blue Jays running with it again. Bacata. Down low for Ely. Beautiful bounce pass to the left side. Delipi for two.
And you said it. That was a great pass to find Delipi. Ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought for this Blue Jays team. They needed that bucket trying to extend their lead against Mount Mary.
It's like you said, Dawson, the looks are promising from this Blue Jays team to open up the first half. 16-point lead. Delipi tipped that one away into the backcourt. Rivers can regain. Too handsy from Lures that time. And that's her first foul.
Elmhurst is just jumping every single one of these passes. Mount Mary being very, very mismanaging that ball control. They're not being very careful with it. That's something they need to clean up if they want to come back in this match here tonight.
Well, you look at the first 2 games this season for Mount Mary, they're averaging 12 turnovers a game. And they've already committed 13 here in this first half at R.A. Fagno Hall. Not what Joshua Steffen would have wanted in one of his returns to Chicago. Has experience coaching in this area at Concordia University. Pass to Hatcher, intercepted at the backside by Ely. Another turnover forced by the Blue Jays. This will be a backcourt eventually when it's picked up. Lures trying to hit Bacata, who was the trailer. Again, Elmhurst so lively once they get the basketball back.
Yeah, and Elmhurst, one of their few mistakes here tonight in transition. Only their 4th turnover here. Doing a great job protecting that basketball. So important in this game. We've seen what it's done to Mount Mary, who's been very callous with it.
Ballard back for Diaz. Too many steps. She was indecisive whether she wanted to take the 3 or drive inside and left the basketball behind.
And Vanessa Diaz, 33 minutes per game so far on this early season. A lot of these Mount Mary starters just making a lot of mistakes right now.
Someone who's still easing back into basketball, suffered an injury late in December 2023. Hadn't appeared from that time until opening night last Friday. Scored 18 points in that opening night win. Sierra Gibson, the Euro step move off the front of the rim. Delipi went over the back. That'll be her second. When you talk about easing back into basketball, nearly going a full calendar year without playing, then coming back, leading your team to an 18-point win on opening night, the adrenaline's still running high for the Mount Mary guard tonight.
Yeah, and you can see that rust from not playing in so long. 5 turnovers for her tonight in 16 minutes. Doesn't have a point so far, but does have 3 rebounds. So just a little bit of rust, trying to get back in the swing of it.
Another traveling against Mount Mary. 16 first half turnovers forced by this Blue Jays team.
Yeah, and great defense there by MC Brown to close out, not give MC or that Mount Mary player any space there on the sideline.
Brown, 22 and great, just a freak athlete. Also plays for the women's lacrosse team here at Elmhurst. Bacata pulls into a 2. No good off the back of the rim. Gave her a lot of space and settled into that jumper from 14. Been a little off since she came back in here in this second quarter. Blue Angels down 16 as we wind down here in the first half. Diaz rotates to her left. Great on-ball defense from Gibson. She's had an incredible first half here. 10 to shoot. Diaz finds room and can't hit the triple. Offensive rebound in the middle of the key, put back up and in by Avery Gorn. The freshman's got her first bucket of the night. Hardy, averaged 3.5 points per game last season. Finds Gibson in the corner. Oh, she's unconscious to open up this game. Double digits for the guard off the bench. Blue Jays by 17.
Great response from Gibson. 2 from 3 from three-point land here tonight. Like you said, unconscious into double digits.
Turnover in the front court. Bacano one-on-one. Pretty move behind the back. Count it.
Man, Christian Bukata, such a fun player to watch. Only a sophomore, so much potential. We'll see it here. Great behind the back. Found the space, takes the contact, and finishes it for the and one. Just so fun to watch here tonight.
That is a play that a gamer makes, and that is exactly why Cameron Tucker has been so optimistic about her since high school. She finishes off the three-point play. Blue Jays by 20 here in this first half.
That's exactly what you wanted in the second game of the season after playing a close one against Rockford. Just getting a little bit of space and giving these bench players a lot of run.
Bukata was so important just when she scored. In game one, she scored 5 out of 9 points in the second quarter to drive the game up. Lucas tries to go through Cusack. She's been great on both ends so far tonight. And a frustration foul against Lucas.
That 6-0 run here from the Blue Jays. Only in the last about 40 seconds, but Mount Mary continues their struggles, turning the ball over, 6 of them in the last 4.5 minutes, and 18 turnovers total here in the first half for the Blue Angels.
3 assists, 2 steals so far for Cusack. There have been a lot of really good performers so far in this first half, but she's really been underrated so far in this game. Bring us to immediate timeout. When you talk about Rowan Cusack, this is somebody who averaged 7.5 points for Linfield, struggled in her first season with this Blue Jays team, but it's that intensity that she's brought to this team that's really impacted the game so far tonight, Dawson.
Yeah, and she has a lot of experience, the senior. 5'2" guard, one of the smallest players on the court, but you can just see her hustle up and down. So many steals, hustles on the defensive end, and then gets up the field, up the court in transition, and finds the perfect pass. We've seen it a lot tonight from her.
You could see this team's identity starting to form. They're really good in transition, but they're also really good defensively. What have you liked from this team with how many steals they're creating?
It's the hustle, jumping the passing lanes, closing down the ball handlers, giving them absolutely zero breathing room to make a mistake, and they've just done a perfect job doing that tonight.
They have been rewarded with this run. It's a 6-0 run for this Blue Jays group over the last 40 seconds, and they're getting good shots all over the court. It could be 50 or 60 points for this Blue Jays team if they hit a few more jumpers.
Yeah, I mean, but they're shooting, like you said, a great number, 46%. That's a lot better from their season opener here on Monday night, where they shot 34% in that one. So a lot more baskets falling, and they've found a lot of space. It's been the passing game, especially on the offensive side, finding that open shooter and burying the shot when they have the opportunity.
This team, when you looked at their numbers last season, they were 4th in the conference in scoring, but they were near the bottom in every other offensive metric. It just wasn't an efficient group. But this year's team, they're finding good looks, and you could tell as the season goes on, they're going to hit some of these mid-ranges that haven't fallen so far tonight.
Yeah, when we talked to Cameron Tucker on Monday night, it's a big transition from where this offense was last year. It was a lot of run and gun, just putting up as many shots as they could on that side of the floor. The big change on the offensive side, trying to just find the open shooter, finding that quality shot, and they've done it tonight.
This staff trying to do everything to clean up a few drops of blood here on the court so this game can go on. That's why we're at our stoppage right now with 1:52 to go in the first half. I mean, normally spring cleaning is when you try and ice off your court. I guess maybe now you're into November, it's getting used, so this court's going to have a lot more of that as the season goes on. We hope not blood, but definitely dirt. For this Blue Jays team, it's looking for its first winning season since 2017. It's been 8 years since that Elmhurst women's basketball squad went 19-6. But so far, so good for Cameron Sucker and someone who's having a really good impact on this group. What would you tell him right now just to make sure that this team continues to develop?
Just keep giving them good opportunities. They have a great opportunity tonight to get their bench players in and develop some of that chemistry with the starters. So when they comes to the conference games further down in the season and they have to step up and play quality minutes, they have this experience to reach back to and really play well. And those transfers that he's brought into this year, they're playing great. Lean on them a little bit. They have a lot of experience. The upperclassmen just playing great tonight, especially the transfers.
Gibson leads the Blue Jays with 10 off the bench so far. The transfer from College of DuPage, like you said, very close here to Elmhurst. Sarah Seymour on the other side has been very good defensively. She's not even used to the sun setting before 4:30 over there in California. She's looked very good in her first start with Elmhurst. Bench encouraging this unit on to try and finish out this strong first half in style. Cusack brings it up. She had 11 points in that win on Monday. Off to the left side for MC Brown. To Leapy. To Gibson. Draws the double. Works through two. Sets up Cusack. No good on the right wing triple.
I mean, that's a great shot, though. She was wide open. Good from Gibson to come around that double and find her. Just keep doing that if you're Elmhurst team. Those shots are going to fall.
Ballard brings it up, leaves it for Diaz. No points on 2 shots for her tonight. If Mount Mary's going to try for an improbable second half comeback, they're going to have to get number 3 going. 10 to shoot for the Blue Angels. Diaz to the right side for Eisenberg. Great on-ball defense by the Blue Jays. Cusack forces a long triple. It's off the backboard. Shot clock violation. Turnover 19 of the first half forced by the Blue Jays.
And just suffocating defense, especially on ball against Diaz. She had nothing there to help her out on the offensive side. And shot clock violation, another turnover.
Gibson fakes the 3. Hands it off to Brown. Less than a minute to go in what's been a stellar first half here from Elmhurst. Delipi finds Orvezi. Across the court for Brown. Beautiful entry-level pass. Brown for 2.
Mount Mary went to a little bit of zone there, but this Elmhurst side, great passing to get around it and beat it.
Cusack with her 4th assist of the first half. Held ball will remain with the Blue Angels. It's a 21-point lead for this Blue Jays team. After they trailed for the majority of Monday night, it is cruise control in this first half from Elmhurst.
And we saw the replay right there. Good cut from MC Brown to get right into the paint, and good pass from Cusack to find her 4th assist on the evening.
That'll go against Rivesi. That'll be her 2nd foul off the bench. Elmhurst, a team that lost some of its top 5 scorers from last year, including 2 of their 3 players that averaged in double figures, but it's just been piece after piece chipping in here tonight. Yes, Gibson's been good, but the scoring wealth has been well spread from this Blue Jays team. Something like the hallmark of many good teams here in the CCIW. Ballard hits the 2nd.
And it's a lot of players that remained here on Elmhurst, haven't had a lot of experience. Bukata is one of the real remaining pieces from last year's team that played a lot of minutes on this Elmhurst side. They need her to step up, and she has in the first game. Getting a lot of rest here with 3 matches this week. With Elmhurst up so big.
Got a chance to hold for the last shot of the first half. Who do you want to see take it here, Dawson?
I would love to see Cusack take a 3. We'll see. She hasn't made one tonight, 0 from 1, but we'd love to see her take the shot, final shot here.
Cusack with 5. Into the corner for Novak. That's good. That's a beautiful way to end the first half. The Blue Jays take their largest lead of the game into the halftime deficit, and Novak makes no mistake on that 3.
And she was wide open in the corner. Mount Mary's zone hasn't been that efficient here tonight, just leaving a lot of open threes available for this Elmhurst side, and they've made them pay with 5 of them falling.
What an end to the first half from the Blue Jays. They close out the second quarter on an 11-1 run, and they lead 46-22 at the break. We'll be right back for the start of second half action here on the Elmhurst Blue Jays TV network.
My name is Danielle Corliss, and I am in Elmhurst University's online MEP program. I believe that nursing is a calling. If you have an interest in healthcare, this is a very diverse field to go into, and you have a lot of options on what areas you want to work. I'm really excited to be a clinical nurse leader because there is a strong possibility to improve patient outcomes and improving the conditions that nurses and other medical professionals work in. I really hope to impact the lower income or underserved communities. Coming from Kentucky, where I was an EMT, and then even in my clinicals here in the Chicagoland area, there are a lot of underserved communities and they don't have access to the proper health resources. And I feel like focusing on those lower income, underserved communities can really help the healthcare system in general, but can also improve the overall health in these populations. My favorite part of this program has definitely been the clinicals. So my big aha moment during this program was during my critical care rotation. I was at a Trauma 1 center in Chicagoland area, which was a very great experience. And working in the ICU and in the ED, that's when I really knew this is what I wanted to do. Listening to my classmates and my friends talk about their experiences in clinical has been a really exciting experience, just to hear that they're doing well and that they're having the experience that we all hoped for, and that we're able to put the knowledge that we've learned in class into the actual setting and into the real world with real patients. It's very exciting because we're almost at the finish line. It's a very proud moment for us.
After my undergrad here, I was working kind of locally with a couple former alumni in kind of a business setting, and so I was kind of interested by that. And then to get this degree was a huge opportunity for me and something that I just couldn't pass up. From the first class, a couple classes, you know, the instructors brought a lot of their personal experiences in. So it was a lot less of like, hey, let's just read the book, let's go over the text. It was more like what they brought to the table, what they've learned in their careers. And for me, that was huge because being in the small size class, you know, having an instructor that's going to be more engaging, it just made for a better overall experience. I was always looking for something that was going to be data driven. I was really interested in some of the storytelling that we did with the marketing class. So in my career currently, I'm an insights manager at a market research firm. Having the opportunity to specialize in something made it easier for me to narrow in on an industry. When I transitioned from the MBA program into my role now, I felt like I could take on things right away and hit the ground running. It's not only getting the degree and, you know, using it to elevate your career, but I learned a lot about myself as far as being challenged and stretched to be able to balance, you know, coaching and classwork and a job and, you know, relationships, you know, friends and family and things outside of that. That was so unique to me, and to anyone that's considering this, I mean, absolutely do it. Yes, it's going to be hard. Anything worth having is going to be hard, but you learn a lot about yourself by doing it.
When I graduated in 2020 with my undergrad, I knew I wanted to continue my education. It was a natural choice to come back to Elmhurst. I had grown to know and love the faculty, the students, the environment, the curriculum, you know, the flexibility behind the MBA program. Since I didn't really have a specialization, I took that time to take entrepreneurial classes, marketing classes, to see which path I really wanted to take. And in doing so, that allowed me to kind of figure out what I wanted to do afterwards. An exciting thing that the MBA has enabled me to do, I have two different perspectives, one of my own obviously, but also from my profession. I do talent acquisition, so I'm able to review resumes and applications of people who have and do not have master's degrees or MBAs, so I know the real life implications of having an MBA. For myself, it just allowed me the opportunity to take that extra step in my education, and helped to understand which direction I wanted to go. If you're looking for an opportunity to connect with others, to build networks, this is a great opportunity to do that. There's a small class size. They focus on team building and projects revolved around that. So Elmhurst gives you that opportunity to, not only see what you're good at, maybe learn from others and see how they work and how they work with others and how you could maybe expand upon that. If it wasn't for Elmhurst, I don't know what I'd be doing right now.
My name is Ricky Franks. I'm a part of the Accelerated Master's Entry Nursing Program here at Elmhurst University. What drove me to choose Elmhurst is the flexibility of the program. With this accelerated program, you're allowed to start right after your bachelor's degree in any other field that you've been in. So after this, we'll have our MSNs, and then after that, if you want to pursue your career more and become a doctorate or a nurse practitioner, then you can just get your certificate. The best part that stands out to me of this program is just the relationships that I built over the time that I've been here and the opportunities and experiences I've had through clinicals. We've had all of the clinicals, so we have pediatrics, OB. It really just opens up the opportunity to experience. During those clinicals, you're able to really practice the skills that you're learning and just really facilitate that compassion to your patients. It really just made me decide that I really wanted to go into mental health. It really solidified that decision. Now I have been accepted to a post-certificate program for mental health, and I want to be a nurse practitioner after that, which is just underneath a year. I really want to advocate for patients, people who don't really have voices in those vulnerable populations. I really just want to make sure that they're heard and that they're cared for in the way that they should be.
Transformative education happens not just in classrooms, laboratories, and libraries.
Throughout the university's history, our gymnasiums and playing fields have been the sites of wins and losses, but also of lifelong friendships formed and lifetime lessons learned.
If I could send a message to the donors, I'd thank them for everything, because I do everything that I do on this court because of them. I'm able to use these facilities to the best of my ability, and I'm able to do well in sports and academics because of them.
The cohort model is actually really wonderful because you get to meet lots of different people from all different backgrounds, all different ages.
Everybody's unique in their own way, where we express our ideas and we learn different things from each other.
I didn't really kind of realize how helpful it was going to be, how much I would rely in my classmates.
We all are able to reach out to each other to help each other. Nobody's like left in the dark. We all learn together that way, and so it helps us all succeed together and makes us happier about each other's successes as we move on.
It actually has become a support system for me.
I had a few wonderful classes that gave me some real world experience.
One of my classes entailed going through a simulation. It makes you collaborate with other people in your cohort. And it just makes it more engaging.
I got a chance to have an internship. They liked me so much that they offered me a contract.
I was able to get an internship. It did help me find that that might not be the right path for me, but at least with a business administration degree from Elmhurst, it matches a lot of roles more than just one thing, so it's very versatile.
Being a military-friendly school was a big part of why I selected Elmhurst.
Military benefits actually helped me completely with my education, as I wouldn't have gone back to school if it hadn't been for the military benefits.
By being able to use the GI Bill at Elmhurst, I was able to really just focus on my education and doing well in the program versus having to worry about the financial aspects of paying for school.
It was seamless and easy to process. They also are part of the Yellow Ribbon program, which helped make up the difference for the cost that the GI Bill did not.
Just west of Chicago, in a community called Elmhurst, there's a place where you'll grow into a connected thinker and a passionate changemaker, with skills to excel and knowledge that lasts. Elmhurst University. Go far, do well.
Transformative education happens not just in classrooms, laboratories, and libraries.
Throughout the university's history, our gymnasiums and playing fields have been the sites of wins and losses, but also of lifelong friendships formed and lifetime lessons learned.
If I could send a message to the donors, I'd thank them for everything, because I do everything that I do on this court because of them. I'm able to use these facilities to the best of my ability, and I'm able to do well in sports and academics because of them.
Just west of Chicago, in a community called Elmhurst, there's a place where you'll grow into a connected thinker and a passionate changemaker, with skills to excel and knowledge that lasts. Elmhurst University. Go far, do well.
What an impressive first half from this Elmhurst unit. The Blue Jays doubling up Mount Mary and some. They lead 46-22 as we head into the third quarter. Cal Freeman joined alongside Dawson Wells. Dawson, Elmhurst got off to a 12-0 run in this game and did not look back. How did they jump out to that early lead?
Yeah, it's been the defense so far tonight, forcing a ton of turnovers, 13 steals for this Elmhurst Blue Jays team as well. They've been just stifling on defense, and they've turned that into 21 points in transition. It's been great from this Blue Jays side here tonight so far.
And a Mount Mary team that only averaged 12 turnovers a game in its first 2 wins of the season. 19 first half turnovers against the Blue Angels, but they'll start with the basketball, trying to climb the mountain back. Vanessa Diaz will open up the second half. She was held scoreless in the first and isn't getting off to a good start in the second half. Steamer for 2.
Yeah, we just talked about it. It's been the ball control from this Mount Mary side. And just like Elmhurst started the first half, getting a steal right away from Steamer, and she brings it all the way down the floor. Easy layup from her.
23 points off 20 turnovers for this Blue Jays team. And they force a 21st turnover against the Blue Angels just like that, traveling against Mount Mary.
And Elmhurst only 4 turnovers for them tonight. It's been an incredible game from them, just controlling the ball for a large majority of this game. That's why they have such a big lead.
Here's Bukata, 9 points in that first half, including a stunning and 1. Brown took too many steps. I'd say that's probably the highlight of the night, that and 1. Took it away in the half court, switched it on to her left hand behind her back, and then finished through contact for the score.
Yeah, she's really got just great handles. We saw it on that play, but the motor on her as well. We're seeing it right here with the on-ball defense, giving Diaz just no space to find anything.
Some of the Cameron Sucker told me earlier this week just has a ridiculous motor on defense, but that's a brilliant reverse feed by Diaz. Layup won't sit for Lucas. And a foul on the floor against the Elmhurst Blue Jays. They'll go on Brown. Leading scorers so far tonight, Lindsay Novak and Sierra Gibson for Elmhurst. 11 points and 10 points respectively. Sinai Ballard with 9, Deja Rivers with 7 for the Blue Angels tonight. Emily Nickel at the top of the key, sophomore from the St. Louis area. Ballard has her pass intercepted by Steamer. Runners to her right. Leads ahead for Cusack. Brilliant bounce pass. Brown off the front of the rim. Steamer can't hit the follow. Yet again, it's just so swift from the Blue Jays, so easily in transition.
And that would have been a pretty play to finish off. Just missing that layup here would have been one of the best baskets we've seen tonight, especially in transition.
Blue Jays as a team are shooting over 45% as a group. Darting pass inside. Out to the corner for Cusack. Leaves it inside for Steamer. Up against 2. Wide open Brown. Leaves it down low. Bukata for 2.
Bukata only 5'7". One of the tallest players actually on the floor. Mount Mary very undersized.
There's been a couple times tonight where Elmhurst just been so good moving off the ball. Mount Mary haven't been able to keep up, and that's another instance. Bukata just somehow got herself to that left block. See it again.
Yeah, just inside out passing. Steamer and Bukata, both of them just finding the space right underneath the basket. They found a lot of chances right there, and they've made Mount Mary pay.
Referees came together during that replay, determined the last touch was against Mount Mary, so another turnover against the Blue Angels here tonight. Novak, team high 11 so far tonight. Bukata for Cusack. No good from 3. Steamer goes up high, leaves it for Brown, no good. Steamer again. Just won't sit for her. Yet again, Elmhurst getting multiple good looks around the bucket. He just won't fall here at the start of the third quarter.
And you can see just the height difference. Steamer was just able to reach up. Didn't really have to jump very much to get those rebounds. Was able to bring him in. Now with 7 rebounds on the night for the transfer from Antelope Valley.
And what a season it was for her last year at Antelope Valley. Averaged a double-double in 29 games for the Marauders.
Yeah, that's a great transfer to bring in, averaging that double-double.
Novak's wide open. No good on that triple. She'll get another chance from the left arc. Don't give her that look twice. Lindsay Novak with 14 tonight, and the Blue Jays lead by 30.
And they're just finding so much room from outside. I don't understand why Mount Mary hasn't made that adjustment yet to close down the shooter.
Rivers has that pass intercepted by DeLippe. Cusack hums it forward, leaves it for Bacata just a little behind her. Well, Mount Mary's been trying their best to box out and get position, but the offensive rebounding from this Elmhurst unit has forced a lot of second chance points, I should say, for this Blue Jays group.
Yeah,
that'll allow Cameron Tucker to allow some more adjustments.
Yeah, they've been great down in the paint. Elmhurst just finding a lot of space. Like I said, Mount Mary, very undersized. Elmhurst definitely have the height advantage, especially when Steamer's on the floor. But DeLippe, when she comes in as well, has had a lot of success. 4 rebounds from her tonight in very limited minutes, 4 points as well. Pretty good showing off the bench for DeLippe.
It's just the hustle that you mentioned in the first half, Dawson, that this whole team has executed here tonight. In Cameron Tucker's second game at the helm. Diaz at the backside. Good on-ball defense by Rivesi, the freshman from Birmingham, Alabama. Intercepted in the middle of the key. Falls back to Bobo. That's her first bucket of the season. Missed the first 2 games with an injury. Now Gibson tries the bounce pass low to Lures. They'll remain with the Blue Jays. Zaya Bobo was so important last year. She had the most 3-pointers by any Blue Angel. Averaged 9 points, 2.5 rebounds a night. Missed the first 2 games, then Mount Mary won the first 2. Hardy's wide open. No good on that triple try. Offensive rebound for Gibson. What hasn't she done tonight? DeLippe, give her 2.
A great find for DeLippe. Now 6 points on the night from her. But what a pass and offense rebound from Gibson to keep that possession alive for Elmhurst.
She has been stellar tonight. After 7 turnovers in her debut on Monday, 10 points off the bench. Rivers inside, draws the contact.
That's good help defense, however, from Gibson. Yes, she's committing the foul there, but not giving Rivers any easy buckets. I'm surprised Deaja Rivers hasn't played more. Only 8 minutes from her 7 points. She's been one of Mount Mary's best players, but only playing very limited minutes off the bench.
Reigning Coast to Coast Conference Freshman of the Year. Gets the first one to sit. It's been a really good start to the season for her. 14 points in the win over Mouse on Tuesday. 20 points in the first 2 games coming into tonight. Second for the sophomore. That's off to the left. Rebound for Gibson. Good outlet pass forward to Hardy. Back for Gibson. Swings it to the right side. Hardy controls. The Blue Jays ahead by 30. DeLippe too short on that 3. Taken away in the backcourt by Hardy, but can't keep it in play. She goes stumbling into her bench. As a team tonight, Elmhurst now 6 of 16 from 3. It's been Lindsay Novak who spearheaded the assault from downtown. 4 triples from Novak in our last season here for Elmhurst. Senior guard who was 6th on the team in scoring last season. Mount Mary down by 30, and it could get worse. Gibson the steal, has Ely in support, goes herself and misses. Ely back up, she'll head to the line.
And Sierra Gibson, just great hustle on the defensive end for her tonight. She's been all over the place. Her, and when Bukata comes in, just on-ball defense, giving no room for Mount Mary to get into their offense and have really long offensive possessions where they're able to pass the ball.
Ely is now on the scoreboard. That's 16 offensive rebounds for Elmhurst tonight as a team. Ely, the transfer from Mount San Antonio College, made 28 appearances as a freshman. Foul out of the rotation there, is trying to rebuild herself in her senior year. She's good on both free throws, and the Blue Jays lead 57-25. So many of these players use the transfer portal and find ways to reinvent themselves. We've been talking about the transfers all night, and Ely's someone we haven't mentioned as much. Bobo leaves it down low for Jada Dixon. Beautiful lofted pass inside. No good from Lucas. Rebound pulled down by Hardy. And Lucas punches it out of bounds. It's something that I talked about with Cameron Tucker earlier this week with how much change there has been to the landscape of college athletics over the last decade plus. But he feels he's in this job for the right reasons. Gibson, that's pretty.
Well, she continues her great night, but you were mentioning the use of that transfer portal. It's such a great use for players that fall out of favor of their head coaches at other positions and other places and come to different schools and succeed. We're seeing it here tonight. Great pass from Gibson.
And she sets up Hardy for 2. And it wasn't a long transfer from Gibson, like you mentioned, just over from College of DuPage. Not too far geographically, but you can see the impact that she's already making on this Elmhurst unit tonight.
Yeah, and the junior college route, such a good route for a lot of under-recruited players. Gibson using that to perfection, coming here after having a lot of success at COD, coming to Elmhurst and making a big impact. We'll continue to see her throughout the season.
Avery Gorn by herself for 2. Rare turnover from the Blue Jays that time, and a nice outlet pass forward by Lucas. Teardrop, money. Natalie Hardy again. The substitutes are making a really nice stand here in this third quarter.
And it's great experience for a lot of these players who don't have much experience on the court. What a finish there.
Bobo through contact over Hardy, who's out in transition. Hardy again, too strong. Put back off from Gibson, but she earns a trip to the stripe. Someone who led the team in field goal percentage as a freshman over at College of DuPage. Spent last year leading the Chaps in minutes, and like we had mentioned, points per game, assists per game, and steals per game. The JUCO route really has blown up a lot here in Illinois. There's a lot of good programs in the Midwest, and clearly we'll see what happens when they make the step up to NCAA.
Yeah, and we're seeing as well a lot of players from JJC, Joliet Junior College as well, transferring over here. Faith Domerset, who's a bench player for this side, hasn't played much, but as well as Angelina Knowles, who we might see here later tonight with this such big lead. But Elmhurst using that transfer portal to success. They brought in a lot of good, experienced players who can help them with this new head coach.
Well, we talked about the Blue Jays' first half performance. They were up by north of 20. It could be easy to let their foot off the gas, but I don't think we're seeing that here in this third quarter. What does that say about the mantle of this group?
Yeah, they're having great drive. A lot of these bench players trying to show Cameron Tucker why they deserve more minutes in quality games. Players like Sierra Gibson, who's played 12 minutes tonight, has 12 points. Delapi, who had a lot of foul trouble in the first game of the season, has cleaned it up a lot. 6 points, 4 rebounds from her. Have given a lot of their starters good rest with a 3-game week here this week to start the season.
An opportunity for this coaching staff to also dispense some wisdom. It's mostly a brand new staff overall. It's not just Cameron Tucker, but 3 of his assistant coaches, Maya Marshall, Drew Odnick, and Morgan Frank, are all in their first seasons here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. An opportunity for them to learn through these opening couple of games as the Blue Jays looking to improve to 2-0 this season. So Sierra Gibson heads to the line. 12 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. Excuse me, flip that around. 4 rebounds, 2 assists for her tonight. Coach Tucker mentioned to me earlier this week a lot of this game would be settling down the jitters from Monday. Gibson misses the first. She, along with Sierra Steamer, not living up to the hype in Game 1, but here in Game 2, these two have been stellar.
And Steamer getting the start in this one, her first career start for Elmhurst. Like you mentioned, a lot of jitters. Didn't shoot, only 20% from the field for Steamer in that first game on Monday. Just having a lot more success here tonight, especially on the defensive end.
Bobo heads the other way and gets the foul. Those are the first missed free throws all night from Elmhurst. Yeah, it's been flawless from this Blue Jays team. No Anna Klaczynski tonight after she had 8 points on Monday night. We haven't even seen her in this game. It was Steamer who was slotted into the starting lineup. While she hasn't scored as much as she did to open up the game, she got those touches early. Some really nice plays defensively. She's used her size to advantage. So Bobo to the line. Someone who's really growing into this game. Misses the first free throw. 4 points all in this second half for Bobo. Sophomore from Kenosha, Wisconsin. From Mount Mary, which is based in the Milwaukee area. About an hour and a half away. Again, off on both. Brown boxes it out and gets the ball back for Elmhurst. It's a Mount Mary team that played in the Coast to Coast Conference last year, which is a 7-team conference that consists of teams from Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, New York, and California. It's the reason they call it Coast to Coast. It's not lying to you.
Yeah, they go all over the place. The all-women's college of Mount Mary, playing everywhere.
What's the longest trip you've taken?
I've been went over to London this summer. Went to see Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And Wembley. That was a fun vacation. Longest I've ever been. First time out of the country.
I'm headed to London next month, actually.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful country. Beautiful country.
Not for Taylor Swift, but that'll be sometime here in the States, I'm sure. First free throw good from Revesi. She started touring in Indianapolis. Had a few family members there.
Hey, talk about coast to coast. Taylor Swift.
All
over the globe, like you said.
Blue Jays 65, Blue Angels 29 here in Game 2 of the season for Elmhurst. Bobo zigging and zagging. Can't create any space from Revesi. Tries to go over and does just that. Great finish from Nazaya Bobo.
Yeah, didn't have much space. Was able to get over Revesi there. Great finish from Bobo.
Lures took too many steps. Cameron Tucker shares a grin to his bench, talking things out with Sierra Gibson. When I talked to Coach Tucker earlier this week, I asked him why coaching. He said he just always fell in love with it. His older brother, Aiden, started playing in high school, and he was asked to get involved while he was in middle school and started coaching from there. Hands off to the left side for Dixon. No points for her so far tonight. Lucas in her first appearance of the season. Off to the right side for Gorn. Straight away 3 for Bobo. That one won't fall. Rebound on the right side for Lewis. Sophomore from the Tampa area. Sparingly appeared last season for this Blue Jays group. Left wing 3. Bottoms. Drilled by Ella Conyers.
And one of those bench players who mentioned, Conyers, first 2 minutes of the season for her, burying her first shot of the night. And it's a deep one.
Her first career bucket in the NCAA level. Congratulations for the freshman. Inside for Lucas. Can't handle the high pass. See it one more time. Yet again, an open 3 for the Blue Jays. And no mistakes. And the bench with its biggest celebration of the night.
Elmhurst 41.2% behind the arc. Just finding that open shooter a lot better from Monday night, where they only shot just around 26% from that area.
Well, they hit 7 threes on Monday night, but like you mentioned, they missed 19. Tonight, they're 7 of 17 from 3. Lures. Make it 8 of 18.
Another wide open shooter. Basically the same spot Conyers just hit it. Elmhurst just finding everyone wide open, and they're burying it.
That's her first points of the season. 71-31. It's a 40-piece right now. Taken away by Revesi. She dribbles past 1. And she'll head to the line for 2 more. So this Blue Jays team now shooting north of 44% from beyond the arc. A huge improvement from last year's number. Elmhurst shot 23% from 3 last year for a Blue Jays team that went 12-14. It was their most wins in a season since 2017-18. But this is a group that sailing towards a 2-0 start, and it could get even better when they host MSOE this weekend. First free throw good for Revesi.
Yeah, and I expect that field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, all to go way up this season with new head coach Cameron Tucker. Like I mentioned last season, it was a lot of just run and gun, get as many shots up as possible. He wants to kind of slow it down just a little bit, find the open shooter. They've done just exactly that here tonight.
We talked about coast to coast and global. Illegal screen set to give the ball back to the Blue Jays. Cameron Tucker's exactly that way. He also went to the UK and spent some time coaching, was over in Edinburgh in Scotland, has spent time in D3, D1, and high school realm. So began his collegiate coaching over at Ball State after transferring from Iowa. He's just carried on since. Lures into a double team. Great entry pass down low. Layup won't sit for Brown. The ball goes back to the Blue Angels. He has spent time in D1 as well. He was assistant coach at Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and also most recently at Wyoming, which is a very good program in the Mountain West, which has become such a good women's basketball conference over the last couple of seasons. Referees are going to head to the scorer's table, just make sure they've got the time right here as we wind down here in the third. But he told me he really wanted a coachable group. He's got 2 young kids now, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, in an area where he could raise them in, and he felt Elmhurst was the perfect spot to build long-term security and really build this program up. He told me it might not be here in year 1, but the way this team has started, don't count your chickens yet, Coach.
Yeah, and he's got a great young player to build around in Caitlin Bukata. I mean, only a sophomore. He gets her for 2 more seasons if she stays.
No good on that layup from Nickel.
But, yeah, he's got a good opportunity here. Wyoming was a great, like you said, great program in the Mountain West, especially for women's basketball. And it's a good get for this Elmhurst Blue Jays program.
That's Delipi for 2. Largest lead of the night from Elmhurst, 75-31. 1 second difference between shot and game clock. And a foul against Elmhurst. And that'll go on Lewis. There's been a lot of good programs in the Mountain West recently. Wyoming was very good right before the COVID pandemic. New Mexico and Boise State have been strong since it. 1 second difference between shot and game clock here as we wind down in the third quarter that has been dominated by Elmhurst. Bobo takes the right wing 3. That looked good off the release, and she knocks down a triple.
Yeah, that one almost touched the ceiling, but she was able to get it right in between the rims.
Conyers to the top to beat the buzzer. Rivesi off the front of the rim, no good. A 29-12 third quarter for Elmhurst. They take a 41-point lead in the last 10 minutes. Your score after 3, Blue Jays 75, Blue Angels 34.
Transformative education happens not just in classrooms, laboratories, and libraries.
Throughout the university's history, our gymnasiums and playing fields have been the sites of wins and losses, but also of lifelong friendships formed and lifetime lessons learned.
If I could send a message to the donors, I'd thank them for everything, because I do everything that I do on this court because of them. I'm able to use these facilities to the best of my ability, and I'm able to do well in sports and academics because of them.
29 points in that third quarter from the Blue Jays, the most by a Blue Jays team in a quarter this season. Cal Freeman joined alongside Dawson Wells. No stopping for this Blue Jays team, even with that 20-point lead at halftime.
Yeah, they're keeping the pressure on, and a lot of these bench players that haven't got many minutes so far this season or really in their careers. We saw Conyers, the freshman, hit that 3 late in that third quarter, getting a lot of experience, quality minutes, and they're putting up numbers against this Mount Mary's team.
Every player who has checked in for Elmhurst tonight has scored after that third quarter. Saliki Ely and Maya Lures also able to get their first buckets of the game during the last 10 minutes. Lures with the ball, sends it to the top for Delipi, who has been very good in her minutes off the bench tonight. She got a straightaway 3 and passes it up. Into the corner for Lures. That's money. It's just a barrage from this Blue Jays team out of halftime. Their 9th 3 of the game.
Yeah, it's the open 3 shooter again. Mount Mary struggling to close down on that 3-point line.
Trying to answer back in the corner. No good from Ballard. Blue Jays are 4 of 9 from 3 in this second half. Ely sends it to the corner. That one won't fall. Wide open look again for Gil Ramos. Just an opportunity for Elmhurst to really dive into this bench, see what they've got. Long range from Bobo, too much. Good offensive rebound on the left side, put back up, no good from Lucas. Delipi closes up that possession. Across the court it goes. Gil Ramos fakes the three. Penetrates, leaves for Delipi. Brilliant basketball again. 80 points for Elmhurst tonight.
And that's been a theme for this Elmhurst side tonight, just finding that one extra pass to get to the open shooter. Did a great job there to find Delipi, who's up in the double digits tonight for this Blue Jays team.
Most points Elmhurst scored all of last season was 81. They did it on 2 different occasions during regulation. They did score 91 last year in a triple overtime game. But a really good offensive effort from Cameron Tucker's team after they were held to 68 on Monday. You're talking about a team that averaged roughly 73 points per game last year. Offense wasn't their main issue. They really struggled. They didn't share the ball. They were last in the CCIW in assists, and this is a conference that will burn you for that. So it's important to get things figured out during non-conference play before you get into the slate of the CCIW. There's a three for Gil Ramos.
Every one of these Elmhurst players is just unconscious from 3 tonight. Shooting, that's their 10th three of the game. Just incredible performance from behind the arc.
5 of which over the last 12 minutes and a halftime. Ely up the court. 2 in her support. Leaves it to the left side, wide open layup. Shakiley Ravesi.
Now, was that a little no-look pass into the paint there?
She might have stopped. I couldn't tell whether she looked right and sent it. It was a nice feed regardless. Bobo. No good off the front rim. There's been a lot of really nice assists from this Elmhurst team tonight. It's gotten easier here as the second half goes on.
Yeah, and you were just talking about it. That's an area that Elmhurst struggled in a little bit. 26 assists tonight for this Blue Jays team.
Make it 27. Lure sets up Delipi inside. Timeout, Mount Mary. It's unselfish basketball. It's been that way since the opening tip of this game, Dawson. And it's exactly what Cam Tucker would have wanted this team to do. He told me he wants this team to take care of the basketball this year. They're doing that and some tonight.
Yeah, they're just really controlling every aspect of the game against this Blue Angels team. Defensively, shutting down the passing lanes, pressure on the ball. Transition, they've been just phenomenal. Finding the open shooter from 3, and then when they get into the paint, they just haven't really missed. Shooting almost 50%, 49.3 tonight from the field. Just great overall game from Elmhurst in their second game of the year.
It's going to be an important test on Saturday as well, with the Blue Jays looking like they're going to move to 2-0. You'll be here for that game against MSOE. What are you expecting from the opposition in that game?
It's going to be a good game from them. I'm just expecting a fantastic game up and down the floor. MSOE, pretty good program out of Milwaukee up there. Need Elmhurst to just do a great job like they've done here tonight. We'll see if the starters get a little bit more run in that game.
This is a very leaded question that I'm going to give you, but where have you been most impressed by this unit tonight?
It's been the transition. It's something that they kind of struggled just a little bit with against Rockford, just a little disjointed in that area of the game on Monday night. They've really fixed it here tonight as well. And the passing, just a lot better. 27 assists, only 8 turnovers. Great control of the ball, keeping control of it. That's what you want to see. The ball is the most important part of this game. And Elmhurst have done a great job controlling it.
In context, Elmhurst has made 34 shots tonight. And like you just mentioned, Dawson, 27 of those are off assists. That's the making of a ball club that really can compete in the CCIW this season. Lucas's shot blocked on the baseline. Great on-ball defense applied by Ravesi. Lure splits the gap. Too strong on the layup. Delipi again for the offensive rebound. Gil Ramos to the top. Ravesi knocks it down. It's another 3 from Elmhurst. It's 90 for the Blue Jays tonight.
Yeah, they're pushing 100 points. Would love to see that in this game. They've controlled it from tip and just haven't looked back against Mount Mary.
One more bucket and it'll eclipse their season high from last year, which was 91 in that crazy triple overtime game against Carthage. Just tell me a little bit more about the CCIW once you get into women's basketball play. You've got a lot of really talented programs in this conference. Who do you expect to make a really big run at it this year?
I mean, Illinois Wesleyan, they topped the preseason poll with 63.7 first place points. They're just a great side, both on the women's front, but also on the men's side as well. Carroll as well. But if Elmhurst continues to play like they did tonight and as they head into conference play in a couple of weeks, they're going to shock a lot of people. 7th in that CCIW women's preseason poll. Not a lot of people giving them a lot of credit. We'll see if they're able to shock the conference.
Ely for Gil Ramos. 6 minutes to go in this one. Lures lines it up. No good from 3. Offensive rebound for DeLepe, who's been so good here in this second half. And that's an offensive foul against Elmhurst. Look at the scoring in this game for the Blue Jays. 4 players in double figures tonight. Novak with 14. Gibson, who had a very good first half. And DeLepe, who's had a very good second half, both have 12. Kristen Bacata with 11.
Yeah, but these starters haven't really had to play much. Cameron Tucker giving a lot of credit and a lot of minutes to his bench here tonight, up so big.
Gorn goes up and gets fouled on the mid-range. She made her NCAA debut last Friday, averaging 3.5 points per game this season, and she'll head to the line for 2 shots. Yeah, just 14 minutes for Bacata. I mean, that's a coach's dream right there. When you only got to play your star player 14 minutes at a night and you comfortably win. First free throw for Gorn is banked home.
Yeah, you love that, especially with 3 games this week as well. Giving your starters a lot of rest and giving your bench players some good experienced minutes here is going to be key for that game on Saturday.
Elmhurst wraps up that 3-game homestand against MSOE. They play one more home game before Thanksgiving when they host Eureka on the 24th. Then December, a mixed bag of results. 3 at home, 3 on the road. They open up conference play on the 4th in Augustana. Blue Jays 90-36 as this one winds down. Natalie Medina with her first touch of the night. Anxious pass, gets it to Revesi. Back to Lures. Mid-range teardrop. Won't sit. Good offensive rebound by Revesi to get inside position. Right arc 3, rims in and outs. Conyers trying to drill her second of the night. No good on that triple try from Gorn. Medina the rebounds. Blue Jays' first road game of the season will be against Alverno on the 22nd. Just one of 2 road games here in this month of November, so it's a favorable start to the schedule for Elmhurst. Once things get really busy in conference play, they got a 3-game road trip in January. They play the majority of their games in January on the road. That'll be the under 5 media timeout here with 4:53 to go here in this 4th quarter. We're coming up on a record-setting performance from this Elmhurst team. They just need one more bucket to eclipse their season high from last year, but how well has this team executed on offense tonight?
I mean, they've shot lights out from behind the arc, 44% here tonight, hitting 11 shots. It's nearing one of their most 3-points made of all time. We'll see if they can hit a couple more here tonight before the night's over, but one of the best offensive nights in Elmhurst history, really.
6 of 14 in this second half from distance for the Blue Jays. How many more threes do they need?
The all-time record would be 14, so they're 3 away. Last time they did that was against Westminster on November 21st, 2015.
So if they hit one more, they tie a record from 2000. I'll tell you how well this team's playing tonight. And it's come from a lot of different players tonight. Lindsay Novak got it going in the first half with 4, but in this second half, Maya Lures and Sierra Gibson have combined for 4 threes. Blue Jays basketball, it's a game that if you're just tuning in right now, it's been this comfortable. From the opening tip of the game, Elmhurst got off to a 12-0 run in the first 5 minutes of this contest, have not trailed since. No good on that three. That was Ely trying to knock down her first. Gorn brings it up. Opportunity for Mount Mary to rest up as well, get some freshmen involved in the game. Gorn, the freshman, gets it back from the top. Loses her footing. Tries to get it out. Loose on the floor. Hustle play by Alexis Hatcher, but given right back to the Blue Jays. Lures out in transition. Good right-handed layup.
And even these bench players from Elmhurst just hustling on the defensive side, trying to get that loose ball. Great from them.
It's coming up on a top 10 performance in Elmhurst history in points scored. Need a couple more to get to that margin. 92-36 your lead. Hatcher flings it out to the right wing. No good on that triple. High rebound for Lewis. Again, Elmhurst running in transition. Here's Medina through contact. Out of bounds, doesn't get the foul.
A lot of contact there in the paint. I'm kind of shocked there was no foul, but when Elmhurst is up this lead, I guess these umpires just want to let this game play out.
Medina making her debut tonight. Receives the inbound pass. That was Ely, who couldn't get that one to fall. Rips it back, gets the held ball, but it'll go back to Mount Mary. Natalie Medina, the freshman from Dodge City, Texas. Her high school coach, Landon Dyer, says this is somebody that works on basketball year-round. And I'm sure is somebody that with that work ethic will lead her way into the rotation going forward.
Yeah, she's playing hard. Elmhurst is up really big, and she's still fighting for jump balls and trying to fight for everything. Everyone on this Elmhurst side is doing the same thing, just trying to close out this game and earn these valuable minutes.
56-point lead for the Blue Jays right now. Medina trying to make it 59. Too strong on that three-pointer. Well, they've started to settle into a lot more threes here as this game's gone on, just trying to get that shot going. By the time you get to December and January, comes second nature in conference play. Nickel inside, no good. Spiked away by Conyers. In and out dribble. All the way with the right-handed layup. It won't fall for Ravesi. She's had a couple of really nice drives at the rim here in this second half. She's getting more run out. Frustrated she wasn't able to nick that one.
Yeah, she had a great behind-the-back dribble to get open into the lane. Just couldn't finish off the layup.
How about that pressure by Lewis? Wins it back for the Blue Jays. Forces turnover 32 tonight against Mount Mary. And Emily Nickel has remained down on the floor. Looks like she's okay, just testing with her equipment right now. But unable to put much pressure on it, so she'll check out. Dacia Rivers will return for what could be the last 3 minutes of this contest. This is an Elmhurst team that started good in non-conference play last year. They started 3-2, won their last 3 non-conference games in December for a 6-2 schedule going into CCIW play. 6-12 in conference play. Replacement head coach, and so far so good under Cameron Tucker. We'll hear from him post-game as the Blue Jays lead 92-56. Ely too strong on that layup. Offensive rebound pulled down, no good from Ravesi. Ripped away by Lewis. She's really shown her hustle. Conyers in and out on a three. They're trying to get to that program record, Dawson.
Oh man, I thought they had it right there. The tie, the second overall 3 points made of all time in Elmhurst program history just rolled out. Would have been a great 3.
From 2 games in 1999 and 2000. Good pressure from Medina. Kept with Mount Mary, who will head to Alverno for their next game. That's back in Milwaukee on the 18th. Good layup from Gorn off the handoff by Rivers. It's a team that ends November on a tough road schedule. They go 4 consecutive on the road, including taking on Rockhurst, who came here to Elmhurst on opening night, put up a good fight, and just lost by 4.
Yeah, Elmhurst had a large majority of control in that game as well. Just didn't take care of the basketball as good. They're doing a great job here tonight. Only the 9 turnovers for Elmhurst.
Well, Cameron Tucker told me earlier this week that he didn't want it to be the Kristen Bacana show like it was on Monday. He wanted to get that scoring depth going. He's gotten it tonight. 4 players in double figures. Medina too short on the triple. 90 seconds to go in this one. Elmhurst sizing things up for a second win. Conyers tried for the flashy layup. Wouldn't fall. A trip committed by Dixon.
Yeah, the last few minutes for Elmhurst, they've kind of dropped away their field goal percentage. 1 for their last 15. Haven't scored in about 3 minutes. Probably shouldn't have brought up the records. Seems like we jinxed them a little bit.
Medina into the corner for Lures. This is a 2, and that's nothing but nets. What a second half for her. She's the 5th Blue Jay in double figures tonight.
Lures, another sophomore, young player, getting a lot of run here. Up big, like you said, 10 points from her tonight. She's played very well.
Rivers, darting pass inside for Hatcher. Reverse layup is good. Daisha Rivers really impressed off the bench tonight. 8 points, a couple helpers in roughly 11 minutes.
Yeah, she's done well. I mean, she does that off the bench as well. Only 16 and a half minutes so far in this early season before tonight, averaging 10 points in those times. So good quality bench piece for Mount Mary. She's shown it here tonight against Elmhurst.
Gil Ramos travels. Actually had her right foot out of bounds. So for the Blue Jays, it'll be a 2-0 start under Cameron Tucker. A 4-point win against Rockford on Monday. A much bigger margin of victory here tonight. And a big test coming up on Saturday against MSOE, who Coach Tucker told me there was going to be a lot of film that they looked over this week. And we'll see if they're up for the test on Saturday night at 7:15. No good from Dixon. Rebound hauled in on the right side, and Elmhurst can dribble this game out. Or they push for more. Lures brings it up, floats it across the court, and Ely wasn't looking. But overall, this team has done a very good job with the basketball tonight. Just 11 turnovers is going to put a smile on Coach Tucker's face.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they kind of struggled a little bit. Over 20 in their last game on Monday. Only 10 here tonight, plus the 30 assists. Will also do a great job. This is a great win for Elmhurst.
94 reasons for Cameron Tucker to have a smile on his face. The Blue Jays with a 90 spot here tonight, and they take down the Mount Mary Blue Angels by 54. We'll take a short break on Elmhurst Blue Jay TV. Be right back with the winning coach, Cameron Tucker.
Transformative education happens not just in classrooms, laboratories, and libraries.
Throughout the university's history, our gymnasiums and playing fields have been the sites of wins and losses, but also of lifelong friendships formed and lifetime lessons learned.
If I could send a message to the donors, I'd thank them for everything, because I do everything that I do on this court because of them. I'm able to use these facilities to the best of my ability, and I'm able to do well in sports and academics because of them.
The cohort model is actually really wonderful because you get to meet lots of different people from all different backgrounds, all different ages.
Everybody's unique in their own way where we express our ideas and we learn different things from each other.
I didn't really kind of realize how helpful it was going to be, how much I would rely in my classmates.
We all are able to reach out to each other to help each other. Nobody's like left in the dark. We all learn together that way, and so it helps us all succeed together and makes us happier about each other's successes as we move on.
It actually has become a support system for me.
It's 2-0 for the Elmhurst Blue Jays in 2024. They take care of the Mount Mary Blue Angels 94-40 tonight. Cal Freeman joined alongside first-year head coach Cameron Tucker. Coach told me earlier this week you wanted to spread the wealth in scoring after Bacana's 27.
Right.
You get 5 players in double figures tonight. What did it take?
We were sharing the ball really, really well. That's the first thing I'm looking at is we had 30 assists to 11 turnovers. We had 21 the other night. So that for me is an excellent stat. I mean, 9 assists by Kai. Just a fantastic all-around game from a not forcing anything. We're not, we're coming on 2-foot jump stops. I just really liked our offensive production, and we were just playing our game. We were trying to stay to a high level. I know they were struggling with some injuries and other things like that. So we wanted to still play the way we want to play, So I'm really happy with that portion.
You told me earlier this week you wanted to take care of the ball, you wanted to play defense, you wanted to rebound. How about the defense tonight? 33 forced turnovers. What was the message?
Well, I want us to play an exciting style of basketball. When the point guard of the other team is going to bed the night before they play us, that they're struggling to sleep because we're going to really amp it up and make it 40 minutes of really challenging defense for them to get through. So I'm really pleased with that as well. I know on the rebounding piece, we were down at halftime, so it's nice to see us get 25 offensive boards. That was just an effort thing. From a statistical standpoint, this was a really good game for us.
Well, you're 2-0 as a coach. So try and make it 3-0 on Saturday against MSOE. What are some things you're going to work on before Saturday?
MSOE is a really, really well-coached team. I've been impressed every time I've watched them play. They run a lot of things similar to us, so it's going to be a very similar prep. We're not going to have to do anything outside of what we normally do. We've just got to be a lot better at doing it.
Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Elmhurst 94-50. As Dawson Wells was mentioning me earlier, a top 3 performance in Elmhurst with 3-pointers, 11 threes from this Blue Jays team tonight. They commit 30 assists, or they have 30 assists, and they force Mount Mary into 33 turnovers. So the Blue Jays move to 2-0. They'll be back at home on Saturday at 7:15 against MSOE. That'll do it for our coverage here on Blue Jay TV. For our producer, Dennis Bergen, my broadcast partner, Dawson Wells, my name's Ben Cal Friedman. Thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you on Saturday for Blue Jays and MSOE.